Howdy folks, Eric here, back with another standard brew. Today, Agatha Soul Cauldron. A card that took over standard for a good few months, back when Vivi was still legal in the format. Today, brewing around it in a green-white shell in combination with this card here, Twitchy Doll, or Twitching Doll. 2 mana 2/2. You can tap it, it's a mana dork. You can also tap it to sacrifice it to create a 2/2 green spider creature token with reach. Each counter on Twitching Doll. Activate only as a sorcery, unfortunately. Probably the main thing stopping this from being a more viable deck, but I wanted to give it a try today. So Agatha Soul Cauldron, exile the Twitching Doll, and then we have a bunch of ways to put counters on our creatures. You can do it naturally with the Twitching Doll's ability, but you can also just play like an Ouroboros. So what this deck does that sets it apart from the other standard sort of Ouroboros lists is, yes, it kind of has the same general ramp strategy. Notice we're not on elves, but instead molt tenders today. We get to kind of have this like really busted go wide combo that it may not shore up our like control matchup necessarily, but against decks that don't have board wipes, say like the other Ouroboros decks, this should give us a way to go even wider than they're capable of, I think. We also have sources of card advantage out of our graveyard. We're playing 4 Esper Origins. Dredger's Insight is a good way to mill into either the Ouroboros, put Twitching Doll into the graveyard, mill into our Agatha Soul Cauldron and grab it. We're also on 3 Tezzeret Cruel Captain. This is another piece that I see as sort of a combo with the Twitching Doll. With a Tezzeret on the field, not only does it untap your mana dorks, so it's kind of like a big mana dork itself or mana rock. It also like finds a Duskrose Reliquary, finds a Phenomena Recorder, finds a Gene Pollinator, and should ult fairly quickly if we can follow it up with like a Brightglass Gearhulk. And once we have Tezzeret's Emblem, putting 3 counters every turn on a Twitching Doll, that in and of itself is sort of an eventuality to beat the other creature lists. Now I haven't tested this a whole lot. I'll be honest, this started initially as like a green-white Diadrine robots sort of list. There's that 3 mana card from Spider-Man whose name I can't remember that can tap and put a 1/1 counter on all of your artifact creatures. That's where it started, and then I was eventually like, well, what if Agatha Soul Cauldron? And then I was like, well, if we're gonna do that, we might as well do that. So I eventually leaned into that fully. This Twitching Doll, Agatha Soul Cauldron, and eventually strayed away from the robots. So that's pretty much the list. We're on 21 lands, running pretty light. We get Abandoned Air Temple in these colors, which is great. Of course, I have to throw in a couple Brightglass Gearhulks. I just can't help myself. We get our Restless Prairies for when we eventually go wide for this big combo Twitching Doll Spiders finish. Our sideboard's pretty cool. A bunch of one-ofs for our Tezzerets and Gearhulks. Curious Farm Animals, something that you can also put on a Cauldron and just like start shooting down a bunch of artifacts or enchantments. A Demi saves us. It's kind of like a sneaky one-of against board wipes, essentially, and we can also Cauldron this. Lava Spur Boots, I think, is pretty good into control. Extra Seam Rip. 2 Soul Guide Lanterns, classic. 4 Sheltered by Ghosts for the aggressive matchups. And 4 Origin of Metal Bending. I think this is probably the best naturalized for the list. Once again, protects creatures, giving them indestructible. Puts a 1/1 counter on them, kind of relevant for what we're trying to do. And just a generally good all-around card, I think. So that's the list. Gonna bring it into some ranked games here today. Hopefully we can go on a pretty good run. Yeah. All right, hopping into a ranked match here. Match number 1. This looks like, I mean, that's a great hand. Gonna keep it. We got the Cub, got the Pollinator. Gonna look pretty busted here, I think. I might not do a full 5 matches today. I hurt myself at the gym yesterday, so I'm putting on a brave face for this video. Yo, the Phenomena Recorder mirror. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, my friend. Yeah, I'm doing Badger Mole Cub stuff. Let's just go ahead. Let's go for our Dredger's Insight. Maybe we can get a quick twitching doll in the graveyard. Just grab grab an Ouroborid. Okay. I have become the evil one. I mean, it's good. It wins games. Opponent is probably doing some kind of artifacts thing. I guess all we saw is a Phenomena Recorder, but I'm not sure. It kind of screams Tezzeret to me. Let's bring in the Curious Farm Animals. Let's bring in the Origin of Metal Bendings. I think we can probably cut... What do we cut? They're probably going to bring in some Graveyard Hate. Maybe we just go down on a couple Esper Origins. Cut down on a Soul Cauldron, try it like that. Not really sure. I mean, I don't really know what our opponent's on, so... Guess we'll have to see. Cool. On the draw, game 2. I'm gonna keep it. You know, it's got the fast mana start. Curious Farm Animals, pretty good pickup here. Let's just go ahead and lead on the Pollinator. It guarantees that we can have 4 mana next turn. Just begin deploying our stuff. Our opponent's doing some cool stuff. I have no idea what it is. Is this like a Bant Gearhulk list? Tezzeret Cruel Captain. Yeah. Go for the... So we can go for the Cub, and then next turn we'll have 5 mana. Play a Twitching Doll, play Tezzeret, play Twitching Doll. And play some other stuff, I think. I think Cub first makes sense, maybe. Try it out. Also could just draw like an Ouroborid. Phenomena Recorder. Back at it again. Copying the Fabled Passage trigger. That's sweet. I'm really excited to see what our opponent's up to. 69%, by the way, their rank. Nice. Good rank. Maze Mind Tome. Origin of Metal Bending. I see. Well, we could just go like Tezzeret. Untap this Forest. And then Origin of Metal Bending, the Ardlight Containment. Just take the Enigma Jewel completely offline. I'm gonna play the Tezzeret first. I think that makes sense to me. Roll it up. Untap the Forest here. Play a Twitching Doll. Put a counter on Tezzeret. I gotta just play a Molt Tender. Just go all in. I mean, they could have a board wipe, but I'm not scared of nothing. They could have a Pinnacle Starcage. Greed's Gambit. What is going on here? Okay, so they copy their Greed's Gambit trigger. That's pretty cool. Do they have a way to give this to me? Hard Light Containment. Really fascinating stuff. They have a lot of creatures. I can kill their Greed's Gambit, which makes it go bye-bye. I think I can start by killing the Enigma Jewel, which will give me enough mana to also kill the Greed's Gambit. Kind of best of both worlds there. Ward 2. Stay here. And then kill the Greed's Gambit. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I get a lot of stuff back here. A lot of bats on the field, and they have this cool abandoned air temple. Yes. Yes. Artifact enters another loyalty counter on our guy. And then we tap the Twitching Doll, adding white. Play a Curious Farm Animals. Blow up the Greed's Gambit. So they'll discard 3 cards, sacrifice 3 creatures, lose 6 life. All looking kind of good for us here. Yeah, without a way to donate the Greed's Gambit, it's a greedy gambit, I guess you could say. Let's just untap the Twitching Doll, put a counter on it. Yeah, just keep putting counters on the Twitching Doll, I think. A lot of mana to work with. I kind of feel like maybe we missed an opportunity there, but not the end of the world. If they have a board wipe, they're looking pretty good. They could have killed Tezzeret if they wanted to. Okay, so they do have a board wipe. Scrying off the Maze Mind Tome. What a weird match. We have a lot of good top decks, though. That's not the worst. Well, swing in. I guess just on our guy here. We can untap it and swing. Consult the star charts. Hey! Okay, good to know what we're up against at least. I was close to right, but this is unlike anything I've ever seen. Copying the Greed's Gambit, huh? But I feel like in these colors there aren't really good ways to donate the Greed's Gambit. Their land. Okay. Just keep going in on this forest, I think. I wonder if we should have a one of Scene of the Crime. Is that what the card's called? There's the artifact land. Kind of an interesting combination with the Bossing Say and Tezzeret. You can also find it off of the Gearhulk as a land drop. Twitching Doll, huh? Alright. I guess we go for the Twitching Doll here. Kill off Tezzeret, go find a 1-drop artifact. Perhaps a Phenomena Recorder of our own. That's fun. I think I'm going to swing in for 4 and hold up the Origin of Metal Bending. Pretty surprised to see their Monument to Endurance here. Not really sure what they're doing with that one. I guess Greed's Gambit plus Monument is something? Okay. I've never seen anyone transform the Enigma Jewel. You get to copy abilities of artifacts. Locus of Enlightenment has each activated ability of the exiled cards used to craft it. You may activate each of those abilities only once each turn. Whenever you activate an ability that isn't a mana ability, copy it. And they're activating drawing a card. Well, I guess I just have to bop this. Just get that out of my life. I get to draw some cards. I have enough mana now to Bossing Say plus Phenomena Recorder Bossing Say, I think. I'm gonna go for that. Some guys on the field. Maybe it's just better to swing here. Yeah, I'm just gonna swing. Hit you for 8. Make you have something. That's my land. Fair enough. Another Enigma Jewel. Interesting. Now we Bossing Say plus copy it. I guess I'll spread the love here. It's less damage this turn, but a little less susceptible to another Floodmaw. I don't think I had a lethal there. Greed's Gambit. They're going in. Kind of cool. Face down card. And they have the Monument to go with the Greed's Gambit. The opponent is cooking. Okay. Okay. There's the way to donate the Greed's Gambit. That's kind of cool. Well. I suppose we continue to do this. But just keep going really wide. I could draw like... Oh, I put both of them on the Hushwood Verge. Okay. Well, if I just keep going really wide, I could draw like a Airbender Temple, abandoned air temple. Yeah, I guess we get rid of the Molt Tender here. Another Greed's Gambit. Okay. Interesting. Well, they're certainly doing it. Whatever it is, they're doing it. Seam Rip. I don't know that I have a way to win at this point. They take back their Greed's Gambit because that's how the Coveted Falcon is worded. They have to gain control of a permanent they own but don't control. So now they have to trigger both of their Greed's Gambits. Not the worst result for us. They're triggering their Monument, but I'm not sure that it's enough. They really should have just activated this Abandoned Air Temple, probably. Consult the star charts. Okay. Anything I could draw here? Hushwood Verge. No, I'm just dead. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. Looks like they don't care about my graveyard. I'm gonna go ahead and bring in back the Esper Origins here. Go back up the Soul Guide Lantern. It's what we came here to do. Maybe cut a Tezzeret. Maybe go down. Cut a couple Insight. Maybe cut the first doll. And I don't think Duskrow's Reliquary is necessarily better than Seam Rip most of the time here. I guess you can find it off of Tezzeret. We'll try it like this. I mean, obviously we need to kill the Greed's Gambit, like, so, you know, we can get it off the field and trigger it. I mean, this is a fine hand, I guess. We can set up our, like, curious farm animals on the Agatha Soul Cauldron pretty easily. The weirdest match of Magic, perhaps, ever played. Gene, go! Hi, I'm Gene Pollinator. MD. Let's go for a Soul Cauldron. And farm animals? And then next turn I can kind of do everything. There's a Seam Rip. It's the farm animals. Makes sense, yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have exposed it. Can't activate the temple quite yet. Guess I'm just swinging for 3. Or swinging for 1. Swinging for 1. Could use some action here. Anything will do. Hard light containment. Okay. Well, I can Duskrow's Reliquary this Phenomena Recorder. Get back my bug. Have to give up the Soul Cauldron here. Or the Molt Tender. Yeah, probably giving up the Molt Tender makes a little more sense. Then we have a target for the Soul Cauldron. Start milling ourselves. Okay. And once we get this tender on the... I'm just going to go for it now, I guess. Once we get the tender on the Gene Pollinator, or I guess in the Cauldron, now our Abandoned Air Temple, like, becomes that much more effective. Being able to give all of our future creatures the Molt Tender ability to, like, start self-milling and maybe hit some Esper Origins or what have you. Well, they have the Greed's Gambit. I would love a Seam Rip. Just Seam Rip the... Seam Rip. Okay, Origin of Metal Bending's pretty good too. Let's destroy their Seam Rip. Get back the Curious Farm Animals here. Blow up their Greed's Gambit. And now we can access another Naturalize effect off of this Curious Farm Animals if we want. So I think I'm just going to pass. Hold up 2 mana in case I need to blow something up. I guess I could just blow up this Maze Mine Tome, but it would mean giving up the Gene Pollinator. Maybe I just hit them here. Maybe that's just better. Coveted Falcon in the graveyard. I'm gonna go for this. I'm gonna get this online and just start hitting them. Boom. Racing ya. Consult the star charts. They don't have double blue, so they're only paying 2 mana for this. Digging for a Seam Rip, perhaps. Could probably use an extra, like, Bossing Say or 2 in this deck. Okay. Dredger's Insight. Go for that. Hidden Ouroboros, perhaps. There's a Twitching Doll. Twitching Doll in the graveyard is probably better than... Probably better than the Molt Tender. Let's grab the Molt Tender. I could just give up the Gene Pollinator right now. And make 3 spiders. That's probably better than anything else. Or I could, like, Molt Tender and shoot the Maze Mine Tome. I think I'm going to go for spiders here. Gives me a bit more play in the future. It plays really nicely with my Abandoned Air Temple next turn. A little soft to a board wipe, but with the temple on the field, I think this is right. Okay, well, there's a Greed's Gambit. We can blow that up. We get to do some cool stuff with this list for sure. I mean, there's no denying Agatha's is a cool card. Okay, well, the Curious Farm Animals play is out, but we still have a pretty big board now. Just start swinging in, and they have to discard their stuff to the Greed's Gambit. Oh, well, there's an Ouroboros. Yeah, let's just go for this. I'll hold on to the Molt Tender. I don't think it changes the math too much here. Gives us something to do through a board wipe at least. I'll probably double block a spider. Oh, no, okay, they kill a fish. That makes sense. They're dead if they don't have anything. And they're dead. Okay, weird match. Got to do some cool stuff in the end there, though, with the Soul Cauldrons. All right, on the play here for match number 2, pretty good hand. Yeah, just gonna keep this. Has our colors. Turn 2 Cub. There's an interesting, you know, as I've started to get a little more viewership on my videos, I'm getting more comments about, like, why don't you try this card in this deck? Why don't you try XYZ, you know? And I love it. I love that people are interested in you know, having conversations about the decks I'm coming up with. I think this is this is like one of those decks where it's like I feel like people are already in the comments and I haven't even posted it. Like, have you thought about market back Walker? You know, stuff like that. It's like there are so many just like little one ofs and things with abilities that you could fit in this deck, especially on like a Gearhulk Tezzeret plan. Why no Candy Trail? I listen. I'm not here claiming that this is the new hotness or the best thing you could be doing. Um, looks like we're against the Sultai list. I'm just testing out these ideas, and at face value, I feel like these are. Um, I think this is a pretty interesting place to start at the very least. Why no main deck Soul Guide Lantern? It would probably be pretty good. Up against my friend Shou-chan here. Turn 3 Gearhulk. Not a bad place to be. Awaken the Honored Dead. On the Cub. Okay. Multiversal Passage. Pretty good draw. Put this on green. I'm going to go for Tezzeret plus Recorder. Swing with the Gearhulk and then untap it. That sets up like a pretty good Seam Rip next turn. I mean, I could play this post combat, I suppose. Doesn't super matter. 5/5 Gearhulk. They're starting to mill. Nothing good in their graveyard so far. That's a huge boon for us. Another Awaken the Honored Dead. Getting some stuff in my graveyard. Okay, they killed the Tezzeret. Not a huge deal. I have another one. Bossing Say, pretty good draw. So we can Tezzeret. What's the plan here? I'd like to get this Esper Origins online, to be honest. Double the trigger of the second ability. Toss some lands in the graveyard. Suppose we swing in and play a second main Tezzeret. Untap the Gearhulk again. Gives us a few different angles. I suppose I could have used the Tezzeret. Oh, no. Never mind. Don't listen to me. They do have to answer this big Gearhulk. They could mill into their combo here. Okay, well, there's the Bringer of the Last Gift. 2 Bringer of the Last Gifts. That could be enough for them. They'll probably go for it here. I feel like they'll probably feel compelled to wipe my board. Analyze the pollen. Oh, they had to give up a Bringer of the Last Gift to do it? Really? Oh, they did. Crazy. Oh, that makes this a lot worse. I mean, still, they're going to have a decent board, but... Okay. Let's copy the Restless Prairie this time. Could be relevant. And by copy, sorry, I mean Earthbend, the Restless Prairie. We can use the Esper, or we can use the Tezzeret for mana. I don't think we have any good 1 mana cards in the main to grab. I guess we could... Here's what we can do. Let's roll down Tezzeret. Let's grab the Duskro's Reliquary. Let's play this Molt Tender. Hold priority here. Cast the Duskro's Reliquary. Sacrifice the Molt Tender. Exile both of their guys under this Duskro's Reliquary with the Phenomena Recorder. Make sure we copy the right trigger. Make sure we target the right thing. And we can cast this Esper Origins. Oh, no. We already rolled down Tezzeret. Okay. We can cast this Esper Origins. We'll take another Badgermole Cub, I think. Pretty good. Swing in for 2. Kind of interesting. There's an Arden the Usurper. We're not out of the woods yet. They could have another Caballero. Harvester of Misery. Fair enough. So we can Badgermole Cub again. Could Phenomenon Recorder this for a bigger board. I don't think I like that as much as copying the Esper Origins trigger. So we tap for 2, untap the Prairie, cast in Esper Origins, hold priority, put 2 permanents on top. Doesn't really matter what they are. I mean, certainly happy to hit an Ouroboros. Go ahead and copy this trigger, draw 2 cards. And then we can play the Ouroboros next turn, copy that trigger for a huge board. We don't have a whole lot of artifacts to make Tezzeret work like, turbo out its ultimate necessarily every time. But it works pretty nicely with the Badgermole Cub. There's a Caballero. Oh, they can just go for it. Okay, that was a pretty nice hit for them. We have some stuff in our graveyard, so it's not just a freebie for them. Is it? I mean, they're going to have some hasty demons. Trying to decide what they want to do. Things are in motion. I see. Kind of feel like I could have done this a little differently, maybe. Nope. Search for some stuff. We got some stuff. Let's grab some gene pollinators. I have a feeling Tezzeret's going to die here, but who knows? They might just attack me. Wait. Oh, okay. Wait. How did they get... I see. Don't they have to legend rule one of these, though? No. I guess not. I'm a little confused about how this played out. Harvester of Misery. And suddenly I have no board. Well, I think that's probably it. I'm not going to throw in the towel quite yet. I can, No, that's it. I can't beat the Arden. And they're at too high of a life total. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Game 1 against Reanimator, that happens. Bring in the Soul Guide Lanterns. That'll be a pretty big game. I think the Dusk Rose Reliquary looked pretty good. We can go down on the Seam Rip. The Demi's not bad because it's like an early threat that can sacrifice itself and has flying. Plays kind of nicely into their Living End effect. Let's go ahead and cut down on... I think Phenomenon Recorder looked pretty good. Maybe go down to Tezzeret. We like the Soul Cauldrons. Go down an Ouroboros. That crazy? Yeah, maybe that's crazy. It's like one of the best cards in our deck, right? I think I like our graveyard stuff. I'll just go down a couple Twitching Dolls, maybe. All right, like that. It kind of shifts the load of responsibility from our Soul Cauldrons. It lets us like prioritize using it as graveyard hate actively rather than our combo. I'm gonna keep this as a little graveyard hate. Lead on a tapped Passage. There's a Twitching Doll. Just go for the Cub here. See if they have a response to all this. Reliquary. Well, let's go. I'm gonna go tap the Passage here. Earthbend a second land, and I think I'm just gonna hold up the Ademi. I don't think it'll do a whole lot, but it could answer like a Awaken the Honored Dead, and then put Ademi in the graveyard for my Soul Cauldron, which is kind of nice for keeping my board around. See what they have here. Bitter Triumph. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for the Ademi play. I think I want access to all this mana, and then I can like Soul Cauldron onto an Ouroboros next turn if I draw a land, maybe? I guess I get to do that anyway. But I don't get to hold up extra Ademi mana. Can't play a Gearhulk. I don't have the colors. Let's just go Ouroboros, Soul Cauldron. I'll eat the Arden and put a counter on the Void. Kind of nasty. Ay. Looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. One of the more expensive decks I've ever built on this channel, by the way. I think it's like $600 in paper. Surprise, surprise. It's 4 Cubs, 4 Ouroboros, 2 Tezzerets, 3 Soul Cauldrons. I mean, yeah. Surprise, surprise. Usually my builds are relatively budget because they kind of play what no one else is doing, but this core is pretty standard for like a graveyardy Cub strategy. Yeah, just gonna run it back. I would never own this kind of deck in paper. I'm far too cheap. Give me like a $100 F&M deck any day, you know? Well, it's pretty much the same hand. Gonna keep this. Let's just lead on the Temple here. They whiff on their Bailmerk. That's kind of rough for them. Double Ouroboros, huh? Man, this card's nasty. Of course I know how nasty it is. I've been playing against it in Standard nonstop for however long now. But it feels nasty being on this side of it. Okay. Oh, Ademi's interesting. I think I'm just gonna play this tapped and get the Soul Cauldron on the field. Start grabbing the stuff out of their graveyard. Set up this Ouroboros next turn. Okay. I'm just gonna exile the Harvester right now. In response to them casting this. Takes away the Overlord as a target here. Sorry, the Harvester of Misery as a target. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of ranching their day, I think, gang. Not a whole lot they can do about this absolute silliness, I will call it. Not a whole lot they can do about this silliness other than, like, wipe the board, I guess. But their board wipe is also so graveyard dependent. Yeah, Cauldron Void. You can kill it. I do have another one. Maybe it's better to delay one turn and then be able to hold up, like, flash in a demi, kind of do everything. Keep the Void alive. Or I could just jam. Let's just jam. Eat the Arden. Do the same thing. Play a Restless Prairie. Big counters. Big Hushwood Verge. Answer the Void or perish. You guys see this as a... I can discard this for 2 black. Give a target creature -2/-2 until end of turn. Okay, well, they're letting me untap with a demi mana, so I don't really see a reason to get too crazy here. I guess I could fire off an Esper Origins, or I could just... Yeah, I'll just fire off the Esper Origins here. See if I hit a more enticing target. Yeah. A more enticing target for my graveyard. Yeah, I'm just gonna send it. Not lethal. I could go for lethal. I think it's okay. Just hit him. I guess I should say I could have gone for lethal, but I think maybe disrupting their combo here is a little more important. They'd be able to block. I don't know. This ought to work out. I mean, they're not really even hitting any targets. They're getting pretty unlucky, to be honest with you. Almost like their deck is just so light on actual hits right now. Maybe they overboarded. They've seen half of their deck almost, and like 1 creature. Okay, well, I guess I've been exiling some of them too. Brood Spinner. The other thing about the Ademi in this deck too is, like, it has another ability where you can just give your creatures flying for 1 mana each. It's kind of sick. Impending. I guess I just play the Ademi here. And I think they die to this, kind of no matter what they do. They can kill my Ouroboros. I guess they have reach on this Brood Spinner. Okay, they kill the Ouroboros, but now I just, like, fire up the Restless Prairie and swing with everything. Interesting match. 2-0. GG's. You got me game 1. I did busted Ouroboros stuff in the other games. Main deck Cauldron back on the menu. Main deck Graveyard Hate back on the menu. Main deck Graveyard Hate, not too bad in the meta right now. Moving to match number 3 here. Alright, on the draw for match 3. This hand's good enough. Turn 3 Ouroboros still. You know. The kind of nice part about this little combo situation is that our main combo piece with the Cauldron is just a mana dork, so we can still just do turn 3 Ouroboros stuff. And Agatha's Soul Cauldron has a lot of play in general too. Just go for the Twitching Doll here, and just swing for 1. Start souping up the Twitching Doll. These kind of just play nicely together naturally. once again, I don't think this is necessarily the way to build the deck, but maybe it is like in certain metas. I think it's probably better than. Just go for the void. It's probably better than. It's like probably better against other Ouroboros decks than most Ouroboros iterations are. I think we probably win that mirror more likely because of our like built-in extra go wide atom bomb. Hard to articulate that, but I think we're getting points there. Okay, complicated turn here, I think. Let's try to maximize our mana so we can play a cub. That's 2 mana, have access to 7 mana. 9 mana with the Tezzeret. We could also play the Tezzeret, and I think we can ultimate the Tezzeret this turn, which is kind of nasty. Not even really paying attention to what they're doing. Go for a Badgermole Cub. They might just scoop here. So play a Tezzeret. Let's make sure we save our white mana. Okay, I don't have enough mana to ultimate the Tezzeret because I have to untap the Witching Doll here to be able to like follow up this Gearhulk. But I can get kind of nasty with it at least. Trigger. And just like, I don't know. Seems pretty unlikely that they win next turn. Grab a Phenomena Recorder and a Gene Pollinator, I suppose. Play the Gene Pollinator. Tap the Tezzeret. Play the Recorder. We can double our Ouroboros trigger next turn. I mean, we could also double the Twitching Doll, like, sacrifice ability. But outside of them having, like, a actual board wipe here, not a whole lot they can do. Swinging for 4. This is turn 3? Turn 4. Turn 4, by the way. Kind of an interesting board. On the draw, turn 4. Kind of 2 solitaire decks going at it right now, a little bit. Having fun with the deck so far, I'll be honest. Not having fun with my back pain. Still just gonna call it at 3 matches. But we pretty much got to show off everything the deck wanted to do. I'm not sure that we did like the Twitching Doll, big spiders payoff yet. So maybe if we don't do that this match, I'll play another one. But hopefully I can pull it off here. I mean, I guess I could just go for it right now and just make 7 spiders and trigger the Ouroboros. We're gonna win next combat anyway with the Phenomena Recorder. But it's pretty funny. It's still pretty funny that we could just have like the most ridiculous board. I guess I'll go for it. I think I can win anyway. And if they let me, it'll show off. Okay, well, they're making some blockers, but I'm pretty sure this Brightglass Gearhulk is going to end up as like a 20 plus power creature. Another Twitching Doll. Well, that's kind of interesting. We'll play another Twitching Doll. You can copy the Tezzeret Ultimate also and get 2 emblems with this with the Phenomena Recorder. I'm just gonna copy the Ouroboros trigger. I am going to go for this, though, because I think it's kind of funny. I don't think I need it to win. I guess I'll also go for an ultimate here. I'm kind of just toying with my food here. You know, I don't think it's going to lead to me losing, but let's hold control here. Put these on the stack. Put counters on our Gearhulk. And then copy the Ouroboros trigger here. Okay, we have a huge board. Yeah, they don't have main deck board wipes, and they scoop it up. Okay, well, we did the thing. It probably didn't matter, but it was fun to see it in action. I'm gonna guess... Yeah, this is just like the green-white landfall deck, playing the Ice Tills, playing the Esper Origin, so on and so forth. I think we just want Origin and Metal Bending. They're pretty likely to bring in... Do they play board wipes? They're pretty likely to bring in, like, Get Lost at the very least, and also Origin and Metal Bending kills everything, you know? Sorry, not everything. I was thinking of Get Lost. Get Lost kills everything. Origin and Metal Bending kills Lumbering World Wagon, Earthbender Ascension. For that same reason, we could bring in the farm animals. We'll probably bring in some kind of graveyard hate. Maybe we go down. Maybe the first Soul God Lantern kind of makes sense here. Nah, let's just stick with our Soul Cauldrons. I don't think we need the Lantern. Let's bring in a Duskrose Reliquary. Maybe a Seam Rip. I don't really want to overboard here. Let's go down the Esper Origins in case they are on some kind of graveyard hate. Go down a Tezzeret. Go down a land. Probably just cut a Bossing Say. 20 lands. Should be okay. Go down a doll. Yeah, try it like that. Try it like that. I don't really know. We're all just flying by the seat of our pants, you know what I mean? There's some like very obvious, like, you got to bring that card in, but it's pretty hard to sometimes it's hard to be 100% certain as to like what card to cut. A pretty good hand. We don't have any interaction, but we curve out pretty okay. I like the Cauldron. I wonder if there are any 1-mana cards that like set up the Cauldron a little more nicely, like self-mill. There's like the Patchwork Beastie, which was in my first draft of this deck, but when I was still like robots. Great start with the Badgermole Cub. Now I get to go turn 2 Cub, Cauldron, and eat the Fabled Passage. Yay! We could also postpone the Gearhulk some amount of turns to try to set it up with the Phenomena Recorder. Double its ETB trigger. I actually like doubling the ETB trigger on this Dredger's Insight. So how much mana does that cost? 5 total. We just have that right here. That's kind of nice. Play the Recorder. Hold priority here. Play a Dredger's Insight. We'll put 8 cards in our graveyard, grab 2 of them, and set up this Soul Cauldron. Kind of nasty with it. There's an Ouroboros, pretty nice. I'm gonna just grab that. And just take a land here. Okay. And now, you know, we can Soul Cauldron the Molt Tender if we want to. We'd have access to 3 mana, but there's not anything we can do with that. So let's just go ahead and play a tapped land and swing. Hold up the Soul Cauldron in case they get an Ice Tail online. It's kind of... I hate to be the one to do it. Surely people have thought about this by now, right? I've definitely run into like twitching doll cauldron ideas a couple times maybe, but I'm not sure that I've run into it since the printing of Badgermal Cub and this like Ouroboros meta, you know? I'm not saying it's busted necessarily, but I'm not sure that people want to see the Soul Cauldron back in the meta necessarily, so left a bad taste in people's mouth last time. Let's just go ahead and get this Molt Tender situation going. Have access to huge mana with the Cub. Oh, there's a Boyd. We can go... I guess what that did is it took a creature out of my graveyard. So this Boyd is a little less effective. I just need to play around them having the combo here. I think I'm going to double up this Brightglass Gearhulk trigger because I'm a little greedy. And then I can hold back blockers. Pretty likely that they're unable to put... Or, sorry, unlikely for them to be able to put everything together. Grab a Curious Farm Animals. Grab a Gene Pollinator. Just grab a whole mess of stuff. Be able to answer whatever we want. We can play the farm animals and eat the wagon here. That's actually kind of nasty. And then that sets up the farm animals in our graveyard for Soul Cauldron. Yeah, this deck's sweet, gang. I think I made a sweet one. Soul Cauldron, back on the menu. Some people will rejoice. Some people will be not too thrilled, surely. Opponent's looking at my stuff. They're like, yeah, I can't beat this. Next turn we have Cauldron on the Boyd and answers to future wagons. Can I just find lethal next turn? I guess I could play like a Boyd and maybe double its trigger. And then swing with... I'll still get to swing with 3 guys. Which will... Yeah, it's super lethal, right? Because I can Cauldron the Boyd as well. So if they don't have any blockers, say they like tap out for another wagon here, plus, I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is super lethal. Yeah, that's crazy. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Play the Boyd. Cauldron it. Double the trigger. 2 counters on everything, and then 4 counters on everything. So that's raw 6 times... Or sorry, 3 times 6 damage, 18, plus the base power. Well, I think they maybe just left. I think they alt F forward, but I guess I don't really care. Just do the thing for fun. Wrap up the video here. What a fun run. Let me know if you try this out. It looks kind of good to me. Yes, there's graveyard hate flow, you know, running around in the meta right now, but like at the same time, you're just like a Badgermal Cub or a Boroid deck, you know what I mean? Do this for the memes. Whee! GG's. GG's. All right. Well, I've been Eric. Check it out. $600 green-white. $600 green-white Agatha Soul Cauldron. Green-white Soul Cauldron. Back on the menu. With your favorite Ouroboros Badgermal Cub combo. I'll be here posting standard videos on the daily, Depending on my back pain, I might slow down for the next few days, but I'll still post maybe just more abbreviated content like this. But if you had fun, why don't you come back for more daily standard content with your favorite guy? See ya. Bye bye.